and I quote, "I'll be there in a minute. Give me a second."
Time is relative, folks. Time is relative.
Yes. So, hey, cheers to everybody in the chat. They're a division rival. I don't care how many wins they get. Screw them.
That wasn't the take I was expecting to hear.
I want to gush over watching live Chris Tanev.
I think that we completely underestimate the skill it takes to play defense.
One highlight or several highlights does not a Calder trophy make.
I'm stepping in here. I'm going to be the crotchety old man here. They need to learn patience. They need to understand the tension, everything, and the drama.
How dare! Look at this. How is McDavid not getting a penalty?
You guys need to calm down with this, okay? You guys need to calm down.
Oh, the drama. Holy smokes, the drama. Welcome. Merry Christmas, everyone. Welcome to the Shifts and Pucks podcast. Of course, you can follow us on Twitter at Shifts and Pucks, Facebook.com Shifts and Pucks, YouTube.com Shifts and Pucks. And as of this month, we have joined the Hockey Podcast Network. So if you are new from that, again, give us a follow, give us a like, subscribe, all of those nice little things. And we would appreciate it. Tell us good things about our show as well. We would really appreciate it. And yeah, it's Christmas. The weather is absolute crap wherever you are. Is that right, Tyler?
Oh, yeah. Well, at least it's dry now for us. We're in the middle of an Arctic outflow, but a week ago it was Slop City here. It was pretty bad.
Those roads were not fun to drive on, I will tell you that.
And Chris was through here. He came through last Monday. And
I worked in Prince Rupert this past week. So I actually got to see Tyler in his hometown.
I know. I feel so proud. We only hosted him for an hour, but he was here for an hour. It was a lot of fun. It was great to see Chris on Saturday, and great to have all four of us together here before Christmas. It's fantastic.
Also, before he runs away, my little Christmas miracle. He came back.
Yay! That is.
Yeah, he is back.
Yeah.
Also, guys, something is missing.
Yeah, we knew this was coming.
Oh shit!
Oh my God!
What's up, fellas?
5 boxes on the screen.
Five presents for a podcast. What is this?
Oh no!
I had to jump in. I do my running.
Well, I mean, when it said video chat, 5 people, only 4 on the screen. I knew something was up there.
When was the last time that we've had all 5 here?
At least a calendar year. At least.
I think it's longer than that.
Yeah.
I believe it was 2023.
Yeah.
I really do.
Damn.
I was probably a fresh transplant to the Okanagan at that point.
Yeah. So where are you calling in from, Devin?
Calling in from Ontario.
Okay, well, there you go.
Yeah. Just
although you were just in Calgary last week. Okay, I'm gonna get Bowie's butt out of the shot.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I was in Calgary for 3 weeks for a bunch of work, and now I'm back.
Right on. And how's life in Ontario treating you?
Pretty decent. Yeah, not bad. Sounds like it's a little bit better than where you guys are.
Well, is it how cold is it? I don't know. Are you getting actual?
Actually, right now it's probably -8.
Oh, that's not. Well, you're used to that.
I mean,
yeah, well,
given my fine locale, not a drop of snow in the Okanagan Valley, and hovering around 0.
There you go. Well, nice. Now that you've said that, Mother Nature will punish you.
But it can snow for all at once as long as it's after midnight, because I fly out to Toronto and then down to Cuba as of around midnight tonight. So,
oh shit, yeah,
traveling boy,
boy,
all over the place,
all over the place. Well, the jaw-dropping moments that make hockey hockey. Experience them all with DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NHL. Missouri listeners, listen up. DraftKings Sportsbook is now live in the Show Me State. New customers, this one is for you. Bet just $5, and if your bet wins, you'll get $200 in bonus bets instantly. Well, let's recap the week that was, and it's still weird to me that Quinn Hughes is not with the Vancouver Canucks anymore. And I keep waiting to watch. I'm like, where is he in the roster? But they have won 4 games in a row on this road trip. The recent ones was a shootout win against Boston. Then they also won their other games as well. As I'm scrambling, I'm doing some good podcasting here, Devin. I've totally improved since last you've been on. Here, let's see. That was the shootout win against the Boston Bruins on Saturday, and then they beat the Rangers on this trip. Because someone else remember who they beat?
It was the Devils, the Rangers, the Islanders, and Boston most recently.
Okay, yes, they beat the Islanders on Friday quite handily, actually. And yes, they won all 4 games. They are 4-0, and currently, as we're recording, playing the Philadelphia Flyers here so to wrap up the road trip. I guess maybe we did not hear from Sean and I gave our thoughts on the Quinn Hughes trade. We have not heard from Devin, Tyler, or Chris, kind of where you're at now with the Quinn Hughes trade and kind of your thoughts on the trade.
Devin, you have the honors. You go first.
All right. Well, yeah, it's very surprising that it was Minnesota at the end of the day. Obviously not with the package coming back. 4 firsts within that trade. You had Quinn Hughes, that prospect, Zeb Buyam, and Marco Rossi. So it was surprising that it was them, but when I was looking at the package coming back, it made a lot of sense. You have a defenseman who is very similar to Quinn Hughes in Buyam, and they do solidify the center spot of that second line center of Marco Rossi, who could potentially be a 1A, 1B tandem with Pettersson, depending on how Pettersson feels that day, it feels like. So, for those Canucks fans that aren't happy with that return, I think you got to give your head a shake, because that's a hell of a return for arguably the best defenseman or a second 1-2 defenseman in the league.
I think whenever you're trading a guy like Quinn Hughes and it's your franchise player, your captain, one of the best that's ever played for the organization, what return is ever really going to be satisfactory to people, right? You're always going to have some trepidation over whether it was a mistake, given that it was pretty clear leading up to the trade that Quinn Hughes was not going to re-sign with the Vancouver Canucks after next season. I think all that considered, I think you got to be happy with the return. They got younger and they got faster and they got a bunch of, they got what we hope will be 4 pieces.
Yeah, I have to basically echo the two of you guys. Like, it sucks in the sense that you're giving up the best player in the trade, so to speak. But the package that they got back was surprisingly solid. Like, clearly, Guerin was willing to pony up to, or as Quinn said, sack up to to put up a substantial package to outbid everyone else. So, yeah, like the package that they got back in Buyam and Rossi and Ogren plus the first round pick, I'm ultimately fairly satisfied, albeit still bummed that, our captain's gone and that the best, like Tyler alluded to, the best defenseman that we've had in franchise history is now gone. But hopefully Buyam can, kind of fill that gap, if you will, in that regard. And we'll see where he's at in a couple of seasons.
Well, people were screaming for a rebuild, and it's really not rebuilding until you move a player like Quinn Hughes. And that's what's been done here. And it was a bit of a, I think, tough one to swallow initially for fans. Certainly saw some pretty strong media reaction, all pissy about it. But I mean, do you want to rebuild or not? It's unfortunate that it got to this with Quinn Hughes and they couldn't put a contending team around him, but it's time to rip off the Band-Aid.
But Canucks fandom being Canucks fandom, they're already pissed off about the rebuild because they're 4-0 since they traded Quinn Hughes.
And I mean, isn't
So
that
no, the 32nd, we're actually in the playoff race now.
Yeah.
Well, are you guys allowed to use the rebuild word? Unlike
Jim
Jim Rutherford did,
He
so
said
yes.
it. He said it. It's actually in the release. It's in
The
writing.
president of the organization uttered the word, so I think that gives us free reign.
They're on record. They're calling it a
with
rebuild.
no letter to the fans like
No.
the New York Rangers did.
No. Yeah.
It doesn't. You're
No.
right. It doesn't.
Yeah, I mean, we've seen now a couple of signals under this management group that they have more autonomy than previous management regimes had and coaching regimes had. One was buying out Oliver Ekman-Larsson. I mean, that was one I was a little surprised that ownership was willing to swallow as a mistake. And then and now this move to trade Quinn Hughes. So I mean, there's going to be fans that feel like the Cup's never coming to Vancouver as long as the Aquilinis own the team, but at least they seem to be a little less stubborn about doing it their way and trusting the people they hired.
Now, can I ask a question as well? Are they done?
What do you think?
As far as moving players before the trade deadline?
Yeah. Do they have?
I mean, I still imagine they're likely to ship out Sherwood and players that they feel like they can maybe get even younger or do a lateral trade for a more desired position or something to that degree. And like Rutherford's our president. I don't think the Canucks are ever done in the trade market.
No. I would think Kiefer Sherwood's going to be moved, given his pending free agency and how well he's playing this year. There should be a lot of demand for him out there.
Sean, you go first.
He's not here. It's up to
you.
Sean squared.
Can you add him in?
A couple minutes ago.
Is he even in the lobby here? Like I see 5 people.
Yeah. Where is he? What is he doing? Oh, this is sort of what I think the 3 guys that I could see move by the deadline are Sherwood, Kane, and Tyler Myers. I think someone will be interested in Tyler Myers if a playoff team will be interested in a guy that can play those type of minutes. I think a guy like Demko will be an off-season move. I think Besser and Garland are long enough contracts that I don't know if people are going to want to touch them. And I mean, it's really going to depend where Besser and Garland is at this point. The big question is EP40 and I would imagine that is also an off-season move. I don't think that they will make that move in season, but I think that will be the big question, what they do. But I don't think they're done, but I don't think that the teardown is going to be as significant as people are going to want, because it just doesn't happen that way in the NHL.
No, I don't see EP40 moving with that contract. I just don't.
Also, just with the fact that the management group has been in place for this many years already, like I don't imagine they would want to do a down to the rafters style rebuild. They would want to do one of the more like on the fly style ones where you shave off a couple years. So yeah.
And
go ahead, Devin.
Yeah, the other thing is that there's too much talent there for them to just give up on a 26-year-old. I think that that you can't build around him as far as a leadership group. He's been proven that he isn't really an engine for the control. You just label him what he is, and go from there. He's not going to be your captain. He might not even have a letter on his fucking sweater by the. Does he have a letter right now?
I don't believe so. No.
I feel like letters are definitely in flux right now.
Either way, he's not the top guy. So I think you keep him there. You hope that Rossi is able to take that number 1 spot, to take the spotlight off of Petey. And then, if a trade makes sense, that you're having another or a player that has similar talent that just needs a change of scenery, I think that's when you pull the trigger. But if you're trading for futures, I don't know. That seems like a half a step back of where they should be and where the Canucks should be going, especially with they got some good parts, some good young pieces that you could turn this around pretty quick. Kevin, you mentioned Demko. You think Demko's gone and they're keeping Lankinen?
They have to get rid of one of the two goalies. That's the only section I'll say.
You can't pay 10. There's no need to spend 10.5 on goaltending when you are kind of whatever rebuild that you're in. But you're not going to get anything for Demko now because of the injury situation. So you want to see where he's at the end of the year, and then you're going to give Lankinen the reins. The only way that I could possibly see Demko going is if a team like Montreal is absolutely desperate to get a goalie and just offers a farm, but I don't see that at this point in time.
Yeah, I could see Montreal being more focused on another center than a goaltending or another goaltender. They have three that they can basically choose from. Their third stringer, Fowler, I forget his first name. He came up and Jacob Fowler. He came up and he played pretty decent. Like he won his first game. And then his second game, I think he got lit up a little bit. But within those three goaltenders, I don't see them having a four-headed monster with Demko. But you never know. There might be another team out there that is looking for some sort of solace and will take a bit of a risk on getting Demko.
Also, I don't think the Canucks have to be too worried as far as the goalie pipeline in between both Tolopilo and Medvedev.
Yeah.
How old are they? Like when's their
I feel like Sean's probably our prospect expert, so I'll defer to him.
Tolopilo is, I think, in his mid-20s, and Medvedev was just drafted this past year, so he's 18.
Okay.
Sean, I guess we're who do you see anyone other than Sherwood, Kane, and Myers were kind of my thoughts, but I don't know if there's anybody else.
I think that's the I don't think anyone else is maybe Bluger if he can get back and being healthy. But other than that, like there's no one of the long-term contracts I think will get moved this year.
Yeah.
I just have to say this is some really tight framing here.
I know. I've had to switch to my phone because whatever is going on, it just wasn't working. So hey,
I don't know if I can unsee this now. We'll persevere.
I have another question. It was interesting to be reading Patrick Johnston's article that it was Jim Rutherford that took the lead on the Quinn Hughes trade, not Patrick Allvin. And I'm wondering, I think there's been a lot of discussion about the future of this management group, and I'm wondering if we could see a GM change in the offseason. And it's someone with a little bit more experience than Patrick Allvin. Which
I don't see it happening.
If you're going to make that move, you're making that move now.
What's the difference between now and the offseason?
Because you don't want Patrick unless they're going to have Rutherford take the lead on everything. Then you don't want him making moves that could affect this team long term if he's not going to be around long term.
Well, the way I see this structured is that Allvin is just the one that's kind of like doing the nuts and bolts work of the general managing, and Rutherford is still the one kind of really calling the shots, or at least the bigger ones.
I was about to say you could have Rutherford just have a little thumb over top of them for the rest of the year and say, hey, you're not going to do anything without my permission. But yeah, it depends on who's out there too. If you don't want Rutherford a part of making those, or if you don't want Rutherford taking over and you want him as hockey ops, then who else is out there right now that could take over?
Yeah. I see them as a package deal. So I think as long as Rutherford's there, Patrick Alvin's safe.
Yeah, I'm kind of of the same mind.
I guess I see your guys' point, but I think the one thing that is interesting to me is in this market, I feel like I wonder if a more experienced GM might help. I think that's I'm not trying to criticize Alvin, but I think that there's been times that he's been caught with his foot in his mouth, and this is not the market to have your foot in the mouth.
It's a good point. I mean, Rutherford's done as much of that though as Alvin has. So
that's very true.
Yeah, I think it's less about the Alvin putting his foot in his mouth than them both doing it.
Yeah.
And you look at any of the bigger markets, anyways, too. You look at Toronto when things aren't going well. You look at Montreal when things aren't going well. That stuff happens too. Like I think you can get completely caught up in your own like circle of doom and hyper analyzing everything that comes out of your GM coach's mouths, and then as well as whatever else you want to hyper analyze and then forgetting to take a step back and understand that if you look at the rest of the league, when things aren't going well, it's tough, especially in these very hyper focused markets.
Yeah,
I got one name for you. Kevin Adams, fantastic GM.
Oh yeah,
with Buffalo.
The no palm trees, Kevin Adams.
Recently has time on his hands.
Yeah.
That poor guy. Yeah, that guy was. Yeah.
But hey, if you need someone to talk about palm trees, he's your guy.
He's your guy. He knows where there are no palm trees. If you want to know where there are no palm trees, Kevin Adams will tell you where there are no palm trees.
Yeah.
I mean, let's kind of talk a little bit though about what we've seen from Buyum, Rossi, and Ogren. Ogren scored a really nice shootout goal against Boston. Rossi is making a pretty good impression. Buyum within the New Jersey games scored within his first 10 minutes as being a Canuck, and he's kind of the guy that's been the more vocal speaker, saying that this team is better than the record indicates. I want to get to that in a second, by the way. Has anyone had any thoughts on what they've seen from the three new players yet?
I mean, in the sense that we were fairly happy with the package that came back, I feel like they've been pretty decent in their first several games. Like the fact that like the biggest negative I heard about that trade package is that Ogren hadn't done shit this year. And that was one of the reasons why he was kind of a throw in on that package. But since he's been here, he's got 2 goals and an assist in 4 games. So like, if that's the weakest part of the package, I feel like at least so far, I'm not complaining.
Yeah, I think that certainly helped calm everybody's anxiety over what's transpired here and whether this was a good trade or not. To make an immediate impact is always what you're hoping for. And yeah, at some point he's probably going to cool off, but at least we're off to a decent start here. And there could be a more optimistic mood surrounding the change and trying to just move forward now with a different chemistry. And I think that's for me what's been kind of interesting to see is how without Quinn Hughes there's an opportunity for this team to develop a new identity, and every game and with every win that piles up, we're starting to see that a little more.
And I also just want to quickly add before Sean and everyone else talks about this, the fact that Ogren has a history with Lekkerimaki, I think is an interesting fold in all this. So like once Lekkerimaki and him are playing with each other at the NHL level, or heck, even at the AHL level, if that's how it plays out. But like, if they can get that chemistry that they had in I believe it was the juniors, if not back in Sweden or wherever it was, that if they can reconnect in that way, like that could be beneficial for the Canucks in the future.
Yep. Yeah, like we talked about this when it first came out. The big stud is Bouillon. He has the ability to basically be the power play quarterback, the a number one defenseman for the Canucks. But yeah, getting Rossi as a number two center. We still haven't seen what this team looks like when you've got a full lineup, especially down the middle. Now that you've got if you get a healthy Petey, Rossi, you've got Ratu, Bluger. They now have center depth, which they didn't have for the longest time this year. And then Ogren's he's the wild card. He looks like he could be someone who could be a second line guy, like the third piece on a good second line, who can go in, forecheck, grind it out, and then just if he can get the smarts there, he can be in the right spot and get some goals and some points that way. And he's not a small guy either, and that's something that people I think didn't realize when he first came over was how he's a big dude. He's not, and he doesn't shy away from the physicality. So I think you're going to see the more this goes. I really like what they did in this trade, and then you also have got that first round pick that's going to be most likely 25 or later, but you can still either package that for something at the draft. I don't think that we see them move that in season, but it could be something that they used at the draft, depending on what happens with their actual pick. What is likely going to be a lottery pick. But it's having these young guys come in and show that why they were acquired so early is fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, I don't, maybe it's me, but I look at this lineup and I don't think this lineup is as bad as some people have made it out to be. I mean, it's not the greatest lineup in the world, but I think the blue line is pretty solid here with Myers and Marcus Pettersson and EP25 and Villander, who he still needs to grow, but he's getting there. Sorry, Devin, I've said this a million times. I know you're wearing a Flames hat, but the CBM is going to be the best defenseman out of all of that draft, that Zane Parak draft. And then you've got Philip Hronek, and I don't think Philip Hronek is really going anywhere yet. And that forward group is not terrible. It's young. It has some potential. There's some flaw. It's not the greatest lineup in the world, but I don't think it's this disaster that some people have made this out to be. I think that the Canucks came out really, really good on this. All things.
One thing I think that was really overlooked when they went on the big slide was not having stable goaltending, and now that that's returned, what a difference it makes, right? I mean, just the confidence of the team, it gets a huge boost when you don't have reliable goaltending. I mean, it is just such a deflating thing, and this string of games here, the last four, and maybe perhaps tonight if they can put one more together, I think we can see the difference there. I mean, the way the team's playing.
Yeah, knock on wood, but the Demko factor is real.
Yeah, and then Lankinen steps in, not being overworked, and has leads them to a victory against Boston and stops 7 for 7 in the shootout. Yeah. So
well, right now he's faced 19 shots and hasn't put one past him yet, so he's doing well tonight.
Yeah,
and just on point with keeping some veterans within this rebuild, I don't see Hronek or Myers going anywhere unless you're getting something back that's going to be helpful for your younger defensemen coming up, like Wielander, right? And Bouillon as well. So yeah. You got to pick and choose on which ones you're going to keep for that rebuild moving forward. But and as of right now, Kev, I do agree with you. Bouillon is the best defenseman out of that draft so far. We'll see what happens here down the road. I think the upside of Parekh with his offensive game is going to be it will be better than Bouillon in the entirety of their careers, but the overall defenseman Bouillon will be better.
I just want to point out something here to one more point here. I'm just reading some articles in Vancouver Canuck media. I don't mean to criticize, but I'm going to criticize here a little bit.
Okay.
Has the Canucks tank ended before it even began? Canucks coffee. So the tank is off, right? Daily Hive. Are the Vancouver Canucks at risk of ruining the tank? Another show that prominent talking about, did the Canucks improve too much to tank? What? I'm sorry. I have to have this rant here. Everyone here knows how much I hate this concept of tanking. I just think it's an unintelligent concept. But I just feel like the goalposts are being moved again. Am I like what? Like,
Yeah.
Kev, the one thing you need to just accept, the Canuck fan base, which includes the media, is never satisfied. The grass is always greener on the other side, and they always yearn for it.
I mean, I've never seen a fan base so frustrated with a 4-game winning streak. Like,
because we're supposed to get McKenna, damn it.
Yeah, there's still the like the flawed logic in the idea of trying to get the number one pick when there's that pesky lottery that's in the way. I mean, yeah, what they're really trying for is the best chances at it, but still, it's only 18.5%. That's why I have a hard time with tanking, because you're chasing an 18.5% chance at landing the number one pick.
And how many times in the past, like ever since they went full lottery style with the Edmonton Oilers rule change, like how many times has like a team in like the 8 to like 11 range end up with a top 3 spot? It's more often than you'd think.
It's actually 50% of the teams that do not finish last have gotten a number one pick within the last 10 years. So,
and also, when was the last time the Canucks won 3 games in a row?
It was a while.
Yeah, I don't know.
It was.
I have no idea.
It was immediately after the JT Miller trade.
Oh, geez.
Yeah. So they're going to get some juice from all of this, and I mean, and the other thing that people need to remember as well is there is 8 points between 16th and 32nd right now in the National Hockey League. So this, like, everybody just kind of needs to calm down and don't get frustrated with wins in December. Let's just wait and see what happens, okay?
All the Tangus are like, damn this Bettman parody.
As Barry Trotz said, the Colorado Avalanche are in the Champions League, and the rest of us are all in the Premier League right now.
Yeah,
pretty much.
I mean, look, if they're moving their best player and they brought in these pieces and they expect these pieces to be part of the team going forward and with some length of years in the plan, then if they're winning games, then I guess the rebuild's happening faster than they thought it would. Having said that, it's only been 5 games here, so
as far as tanking goes, it's a trigger warning or a trigger for me. Being in the mucky middle, all right. The Flames have been in the mucky middle forever, right? And look at where they are now. So either you go for it or you don't. And it's not about tanking; it's about putting a team together that is going to build in the future. Right. And it's you call it strategically tanking. Sure. The coaches are there to win, but if the GM gives you shitty players, then you get shitty players and you have to do the best that you can. And that's the best way to do it in my opinion. And it's hard when it's hard to listen to a fan base like the Canucks every once in a while. Yeah, good majority of the time, especially Tyler. So it's hard because you have a team that was so good. You had all the pieces. You had your number one center, Petey. You had a good second line center in Miller. You had one of the best defensemen in the world, and you had a hell of a goaltender. Just had a hard time staying healthy. Like you had everything right there at your fingertips to make a fantastic team. and it just didn't happen, and they fell short for whatever reason. And so you're not going to flip a switch here and be good next year or the year after. When it comes to a rebuild, you're looking at 3 to 5 years. If you realistically do turn around.
We've talked in the past about that being an even longer time frame. We think
totally.
Yeah.
I like that. That's best case scenario.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, and like, I'm not saying that the team doesn't need to rebuild. That's not what I like. Obviously the team is going through that. And I don't think Jim Rutherford is going to be intellectually dishonest about where this team is. I think everybody knows the score here in Vancouver. So I just don't see them. I don't see them 2 points out of the playoff spot and going, okay, we're going to go all in for a playoff run. I think they're going to see where they're at, and they're going to go more on that rebuilding route. I mean, the problem is everybody is the streak either is everybody's really hot or everybody's really not. That's what basically is happening in the NHL this year. Like, we lose like 7 in a row. Oh, go ahead, Sean.
And just to tack onto what Devin was saying about tanking versus it's the tanking is losing for the sake of losing, for the sake of trying to get trying to get like the best of one pick. That's it. And the best rebuilds have not actually tanked. The best rebuilds have gone strategically, gone through and gone, all right, we're getting younger, and then they get those picks because of that. They don't just like trade every goaltender that makes a save. You want to know why where Buffalo is at? It started with when they tanked for McDavid, and they couldn't get out of the losing cycle.
Yeah,
and that when you actually tank, that's what happens. If you go through a proper like smart rebuild, then you come out the other side, and you'll have the top end players that you need to build around. That's just what happens naturally if you do it right. So yelling and screaming about winning 4 games in a row in December when you still have so many games left, and we know this team is not going to put up a lot of points, like score a lot of goals, just because of the way it's built right now.
Yeah,
and they're going to be in a spot for a lottery pick at the end of the year, most likely, and that's all you can ask at this point. And if they get a couple extra wins here and there, and they're higher up in the standings than you want, whatever. It's a lottery, as we've said. That's the problem. It's not last place gets first overall, and it is a full on tankathon, but it's just a lottery. So I think you want especially the younger players to build proper habits and to build a proper culture in the team, because if you don't, it takes a lot longer to rebuild that.
Now, you guys can just give me the boot here if you think this is absurd. But I mean, what if they
get out of here then?
What if they turn this thing around and they do put a good winning percentage together and they're fighting for a playoff spot at the trade deadline, like legitimately? What do you do then?
I mean, the fan base will clearly lose their goddamn shit. But
I mean, it's hard to imagine that. But it with the way the standings look, it would only take
it's conceivable. Yeah,
change the conversation.
Do you know what right now, just to add to Tyler's point, do you know what the Western Conference threshold will be to make the playoffs? 84 points.
84, eh? Yeah.
That's going to Trevor Rebo.
You know what? You take the win of being in there, and potentially, I don't think you do anything. You don't trade for anybody. You see what you have. If you make the playoffs, great. If you don't, you don't. And at this point, the parity is there. You have no idea who's going to be hot going into the playoffs. We know that's a big part of it. So the last 3 weeks of the regular season, if there's a hot team going in, look out for that team. And that could be the Vancouver Canucks. They have a lot of talent on their team. They have role players and they have good goaltending. So you can't really rule them out of that being a potential. So when it really comes down to that potential, there's a lot of potentials for a lot of teams that want to quote unquote tank for, it's not even just McKenna, it's the top three, the way I see it within this draft. And if you are,
what's Steinberg?
Yeah. And if you are, one of the bottom, if you are the bottom team, you can't fall past 3, right? And that's basically, if you were last in the league, you get a top player that could be a franchise player moving forward. And that is it. There's nothing else that is written in stone. So you know what? If you are on that bubble, fucking go for it. Don't trade don't trade to get in. But if you have a good enough team, you have a good enough team.
And I think if that was the approach taken, the fans would be comfortable with that. But we all know the history of the way the team has been run. That ownership would be frothing to make some moves to try to secure a playoff spot. That's what's traditionally been the case. That may not necessarily continue to be the way, but you can see where that discussion would be headed if they're on the bubble.
If it's a hockey trade and it makes sense, sure.
Yeah, like they need to be looking past the season, regardless of where they're at in the standings.
Yeah,
that's what it needs to be, right? It needs to be looking past this season, looking to build around the Buyum, the Lekaramaki, the Braden Coots, the Willanders, and go from there instead of trying to just trying to make the playoffs just for the sake of it. What this market is desperate for and what this market is screaming for is just to feel like there's going to be a sustained run in the playoffs that they can be excited for.
Yeah. And I get it. I do agree with that, by the way. I'm not saying that should not happen, but it's just the way that we're getting there is fascinating. Let's touch on the World Juniors here as we just transition. Of course, Braden Coots is in the roster. This is kind of an intriguing lineup from Vancouver. You got Bork on Sweden and Sansonens in Switzerland. So there's going to be a few Canucks, but on there to watch. As far as the World Juniors, of course, I think three big names, I think, will be Gavin McKenna. I think a lot of people are going to have eyes on him. A lot of people are talking about him not being the number one pick, and that this is going to be that, and the Frozen Four will be his two big spotlight things. Zane Parekh, I think, will be a national story, not only a Flame story. He was cut last year. And as always with Canada, the last few years, goaltending. But am I missing anything else with the World Juniors that kind of everyone is interested in? Or
well, you got the narrative from last year where they finished fifth, and fifth, like just not anywhere in the vicinity to okay for Canada. So that see if they can recover and at least get back into like a gold medal or bronze medal game. But yeah, it's McKenna, Verhoff. You got Stenberg. You've got both Bjorks on Sweden. You got the Wilson, who is the Canucks prospect, and then his younger brother, is also on Team Sweden. He's a high prospect as well. So yeah, it's also just like a tradition, like a Canadian tradition, to yell and scream at 18, 19, 20-year-old kids while you're between Christmas and New Year's, right?
Until they score dramatic goals in game-winning fashion. Yeah.
I mean, do you think
believe
that
it?
there will be a resetting of expectations for the program, sort of in this day and age now? I mean, they lost to Latvia last year. I mean, maybe that's just a one-off, or maybe it's a sign that, the tournament's just going to be a tougher win going forward. I'm of the belief that expectations, I mean, the goal should always be the gold medal like it is for every country, but how automatic that is. I mean, we're far from automatic now.
I mean, I think it's a little bit of both, to be honest with you. Like, yeah, the lower tier teams are better now, but at the same time, yeah, Canada doesn't have like the cream of the crop that they've had in past decades.
Yeah, we talked about parity in the NHL. There's parity across the world, across the globe, with how the talent is being dispersed across each continent and each country. So you have kids that are playing a lot more hockey and a lot more have that ability to work on their craft a lot more as well. And it is a power ranking change within the past few years for sure. So yeah, I'm with Tyler. I hate to say it, but he's right on this one.
It's a pro and a con of growing the game internationally. Like, yeah, it's gotten bigger on an international level, but also those international teams have gotten better, which means that it's not necessarily going to come up in the Canadian system anymore.
Yeah.
Now, the one thing that is scary is, who is going to be the next generation of goaltenders? Because right now you're looking at the Olympics and you're kind of squinting to see, well, I hope they're good enough.
Yeah, I know. I mean, we had that concern going into the Four Nations tournament, and then Jordan Binnington showed that he was up to the task, and we're going to hope that that's the case again for the Olympics upcoming. But beyond that, it's a good point. Like, there is no clear favorite there, is there?
And even Binnington has struggled this season. So, like, it's not even necessarily like, yeah, we know that Binnington can show up for big games. So, like, there's going to be a certain level of trust factor in that regard. Yeah. But whether we're talking about Wedgwood, whether we're talking about Thompson, like Kemper, like, there's been other guys that have shown, like, hey, I'm worthy of a call here.
Yeah.
All right. Well, before we switch there, I'm just going to read this quickly. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code THPN. That's code THPN to turn $5 into $200 in bonus bets if your bet wins, in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NEW York or text HOPNY 467-369. In Connecticut, help is available for problem gambling. Call 888-789-7777 or visit ccpg.org. Please play responsibly on behalf of Boot Hill Casino and Resort in Kansas. Pass-through of per wager tax may apply in Illinois. 21 plus age and eligibility varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario. Restrictions apply. Bet must win to receive bonus bets, which expire in 7 days. Minimum odds required. For additional terms of response, game and resources, see dkng.co/audio. Limited time offer, copyright NHL 2025, all rights reserved. That's my radio voice. The Olympic roster will be revealed on the 30th on New Year's Eve. And I think there's a number of big questions. And I guess the first one is, let's discuss the goaltending. Who does anyone not have Jordan Binnington? I guess maybe we'll start there.
I think he's just the de facto, the easy choice there, just because of how he played in the Four Nations.
And the 2019 Cup run history, as far as like showing up for big games. Yeah.
I think do have him in there. I think it'd be stupid of the Brass not to bring him, but it's hard. It's really hard to look at the Canadian goaltenders and wonder who's going to be their number one. I think it's going to be Thompson. Binnington should be there, but who the fuck knows?
Well, my two are Binnington Thompson. Does anyone disagree with me?
I mean, Thompson was definitely pushing for it in the lead up to Four Nations. So like the fact that he ended up not, correct me if I'm wrong, he did end up not going to that tournament at all. Whether it was injury or I can't remember what the reasoning, but
apparently there is tension between Logan Thompson and Aiden Hill.
And it was also who's the head coach of Vegas?
Bruce Cassidy.
I think there was a tension between him and Bruce Cassidy as well. So it wasn't just Aiden Hill.
But they will have to look past this because there's not really the other option is Darcy Kemper, I guess, but I don't know who your third one would be if you're leaving Logan Thompson off.
Yeah, Wedgwood is a great pick, Chris.
I kind of was on that train too. I actually think I've thought about him too. I
feel like Wedgwood's the sort of like the third. He's going to be your third goaltender, no matter who you bring. Like he should. It's the Olympics, right? And he's been a career backup, but has looked good this year. No, not taking anything away from him. But he's been a career backup, and now we're talking about him being on the Olympic team. I mean, that goes back to what we've been saying about the Canadian goaltending. But it's just.
Our years of producing A++ prime goaltenders is apparently behind us, or at least we're in a little bit of a dip right now.
Yeah. Now we're assuming Aiden Hill with injury. That's kind of off the table, probably still at this point.
Last I had heard, he's out until at least January. So yeah, I'm guessing it's fairly doubtful.
Sam Montembeault is on the Four Nations roster as the third goalie there. That name wasn't discussed here either, but just not.
If he's not competing in Montreal, I doubt he's going to be on the list for Canada.
yeah. So those are your names, basically.
Well, can I bring up Mackenzie Blackwood here? Like he's 11. He's got 11 wins in 14 games with 2 shutouts. I know he's on the Colorado Avalanche, but are we discounting this guy here or what?
I think we are.
It's hard to you have Wedgwood and Blackwood, the both Woods are they're it's hard to see them as potential goaltenders for the Canadians because you're on such a juggernaut of a team, right?
How hard have they had to work this season?
Exactly, right? So
Blackwood has been on the radar for a little bit though. I think that's the one thing with him is that he has been on the radar before.
Yeah, he was there before. Yeah. Yeah, I think they're going to start with Binnington, and I think they're going to see what happens after that. And the nice thing with this is they've got the round robin to kind of figure it out. But with Four Nations, you kind of had to decide right away what you're doing. That was the difference.
Yeah, we've seen in the Olympic tournament, typically both goalies get one of the first 2 games each, and then they kind of go from there. You get
go with
4
the hot
games for
hands,
sure.
yeah.
So, it's the 4th game that becomes the must-win territory, and then hopefully you've got it established by then.
I think realistically, you have Thompson and you have Binnington fight it out, and I don't think it really matters who your third goaltender is.
And when it comes to those 2 goalies, are we talking about an actual scrap?
Yes, right in the middle.
I mean, if Binnington decides to drop him, then he'll get suspended. So then it's Thompson's net.
Yeah.
For the blue line, I'm really surprised about this. I don't think that there's a couple of guys that I don't think is getting enough run for this that I want to toss in. The first one is Drew Doughty, who I'm just going to say this. I think would be more of a problem for Matthew Tkachuk than Tom Wilson would be. Those 2 hate each other's guts. People forget they absolutely detest each other. And it is kind of like in Milan with the international rules, I would rather have Doughty chase around Matthew Tkachuk than Tom Wilson because I think Doughty would be more disciplined at it than Wilson.
just based off of performance, like, I mean, Doughty might be the 8th defenseman, 7th or 8th defenseman. How many are they allowed to carry? 7 or 8?
8.
Okay. So, like, he's definitely kind of getting pushed out of the top 6, but, like, even if you have him on the bench barking, I think that's still worthy of bringing him.
Yeah.
I'm worried that is going to be the case. I don't think he should be on the team personally. I think there are better defensemen out there that deserve it more than him. Because how old is he? He's 39.
No, he's not that old. He's in his mid to late 30s for sure.
I mean, he's no Sidney Crosby at that age. Let's put it that way. I mean, I know that's a high bar to set, but
he's 36.
36, so he's ancient in the hockey realm. So I don't know. I just think that there's a lot of miles on him. Yes, he can bring leadership, but you have a bunch of guys in there that can bring leadership, and I don't see. I just think that you could have a better 8th defenseman if you are bringing an 8th defenseman. I mean, you know, it's Canadian hockey talk when we're talking about the 8th or 7th defenseman going on the fucking roster. So,
also, you say that he's ancient at 36, yet our second line center in Crosby is 38.
Yeah, well, I look at his production,
but like a good 38. That's
I fully concede that Crosby is there on merit for sure.
Yeah, let's not disparage people in their late 30s or early 40s.
Yeah.
Okay?
I was just putting a hole in Devin's logic there. That's all.
I heard this. I don't know if it's true, but you guys can correct me if you guys know. The World Cup team in what was it, 03? Or what 03 went to the Cup or went to the Olympics in or 01. Sorry, 01. The Olympic or the World Cup team. The Canadian World Cup team went to the Olympics in 2002.
Are you talking about World Cup or are you talking about Olympics? I'm confused.
I'm talking about both. I can't remember the dates off the top of my head.
Salt Lake City Olympics were 02. World Cup of Hockey was in 04. And then there was the Turin Olympics in 06.
Well,
and they ran it back in 06 and it didn't go well.
Thank you.
No.
Yes.
Yeah, they lost in the quarterfinals to Russia.
There we go.
I still have it burned in my brain. Ovechkin scoring in the 3rd period to go ahead, and our team didn't have Sidney Crosby on it.
Yeah. And I'm not saying that's going to happen. Obviously, if they run back the same team as they did for the Four Nations, I think we'd still have a good chance at it. But yeah,
it's a cautionary tale, though. It's one that's worth listening to, right? Like, if you're not getting better, you're falling behind the rest of the pack because all the other countries are they're going to be taking a step too. I mean, we haven't talked much about what the United States roster is going to look like, but that, causes a lot of concern, doesn't it?
Yep. But the thing is like, okay, if Doughty's out, who's coming in, who's replacing him?
Yeah. Schaefer?
No, I can't do it yet. I'm sorry. I just if the goaltending was better in Canada, I would do it. But with this type of goaltending, I think you need veteran defensemen. Like, it's too shaky of a position for me to put Matthew Schaefer in. Like, he's phenomenal. I think he's had a great year. But no, not for me.
Okay, so I don't have a lineup in front of me. So we're talking about Makar and Taves. We're talking about who in the 2nd and 3rd pairs before we get to 7 and 8.
Okay,
go
ahead, Sean.
Let's just go with the 8 that were on the Four Nations team last year. You had, or earlier this year, Cale Makar, Devon Taves, Josh Morrissey, Shea Theodore, Drew Doughty, Travis Sanheim, Colton Parayko, and Thomas Harley.
So I believe Theodore is currently injured, right?
Yes, but I think
not
he'll
long
be
term.
ready.
Okay, so he'll be back in time. If I'm taking anyone out of that lineup, it's probably Sanheim. But then again, I'm also more the big picture observational guy. You guys are more the technical guys, so I'll leave that up to you.
You have Jacob Chikrin as well. That could be potentially going in. Evan Bouchard.
I lobby for him.
Guys.
I think he should be on the team. Actually, he's got 14 goals this year.
Totally. I love Parenko. I do like Sanheim. I know that the Canadian Brass does like Sanheim as well. I think they bring Schaefer as their numbers, like their 7-8 defenseman. A, for experience, and B, he has been that good, Kev. He's really good.
He is. He's the Calder guy. I think he's definitely the Calder winner. I don't dispute that. But
yeah, the thing when you look at that, you already have. If you're going to bring an eighth guy, because he's not going to, they're not going to dress the eighth defenseman, right? So, yeah, maybe you do bring him for that, because you've already got your number one power play quarterback in Makar. You got your number two with Morrissey, that's the argument against Evan Bouchard. Is if you're bringing him, you're bringing him for his offense, right? But you already have two guys who are arguably better than him, and they're better defensively than him. So that's always the one there, and that's the same thing with Chikrin as well. Like he's more of an offensive guy, which is why when you look at Sanheim and Doughty, I think are the two. I guess they'll be on the bubble. They're more they're grittier and they're more defensive minded. So if you're gonna replace them with anyone, and you want sort of like for like, then like going into the Four Nations, there's a lot, especially here in Calgary, there was a lot of run for Mackenzie Weegar.
Yeah, last year when he was playing well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
not so much this season.
He's been better. Not quite. Not Team Canada. He's been better, but he's not Team Canada. Not that better.
Yeah.
Okay, so there. Yeah. So. Schaefer, I guess, is a wild. I'm trying to think of anyone else.
Well, Thomas Harley, but I don't think he's going to make it.
Yeah, he'd be someone who might be on sort of the bubble as well. Like he was the last minute ad after who got injured last year that got Harley in there.
Theodore.
I don't remember who got injured.
It was Theodore. Yeah, it was Theodore.
Oh, Theodore.
It was Theodore. Yeah. So, but yeah, I think when you look at it's about building the right blue line too. You can't just have a bunch of offensive defensemen out there. You got to have the right mix, and which is why everyone was talking about Parayko versus Weegar was the argument leading into the Four Nations, and which is I think might be the downfall of the Bouchards and the Schaefers. Just you don't know how much you can rely on them defensively if they get in.
So we've talked about defense and goaltending though, but if we're talking about forwards, like I know Bedard's currently out with an injury, but have Celebrini and Bedard made a big enough case to make it on the forward roster?
Celebrini is on my team. 100%.
I think both.
And I think both should be. I mean,
Is Bedard short term enough that we're expecting that he'll be healthy for February?
Yeah, I believe he's supposed to be back sort of mid January. But like when you look at the team, the Four Nations team that you had, I think Seth Jarvis is out, might be out long term, unfortunately.
Yeah.
So that's a spot opening up. I know everyone keeps putting Tom Wilson on this team, and I know that you've got sort of NHL refs officiating some of it, but it's going to be with the IIHF rulebook, and then as well as they'll be working with the IIHF for this any rulings on any bad hits and all that. He's just too much of a wild card there for me. that I know everyone's got it. Like, he's been on many rosters, projected rosters. He's just not on mine.
I could go either way with that one. I wouldn't be upset to see him included, but I have those concerns too, Sean. It's not going to be an NHL style of play. Also, the pace and how much space there's going to be out there. I mean, we saw with the Four Nations, there's not a lot of time to operate. Is his game going to really translate, and is he going to offer much value there? Maybe. I don't know. There's question marks with that.
Yeah, and I don't claim to be an expert here, but I did recently hear that Friedman interview with Tom Wilson on 32 Thoughts, and like the fact that he has matured his game over the years, and he's taken more of a leadership role in Washington. Like I have more time for Wilson on that roster, but as far as like I wouldn't say he's solidly on one that I would draft, but I'm definitely open to the idea of it.
I think you bring him. I think you bring him, and if Bo Horvat's healthy, you bring Bo, and then you also bring Nick Suzuki as well. And I would take Cirelli off personally, even though Cooper does love his Tampa Bay Lightning. And bring Hagel as well. Everybody else, I think, who was on the Four Nations, I think you really keep, but those are the guys that I would keep an eye on, and bring Tom Wilson just in case.
Well, here's kind of one of my counter arguments. I'm just going to make this bold prediction. I don't think JT Miller's making the U.S. Olympic team. I think that Cole Caulfield and Tage Thompson make that U.S. team.
He's definitely played himself off the roster this season. I will say that.
Yeah. So to me, I think you got to kind of match scoring for scoring. So I think you got to make room for Bedard and Celebrini. And Brandon Hagel's hurt too.
Yeah.
Like I'm a little concerned about that.
How long is he out for? Because I hadn't heard about that one.
He's been in and out of the lineup. He's on IR again. I know because I have him on 2 fantasy teams. So, but still,
yeah, he's been hurt every time he plays Florida the past 2 years.
Yeah, Florida hurt him. Yeah,
how convenient,
right?
Yeah. With the whole Tom Wilson discussion, you've already got Sam Bennett and Brad Marchand who are in that discussion as well, right? So it's like, are they bringing too many sort of that style when you as Kevin, you got Hagel, Hagel, Marchand, Wilson, Bennett, they're all sort of that style, and you do need that, but you also need the skill, and especially it's the Olympics. It's not going to be the Four Nations
where we
Rumble where you have
off for the first 9 minutes.
You're not going to have that. So
it's going to happen.
You gotta find that right balance, right? So, and there's definitely a few injuries now that popped up lately that could throw a wrench into a lot of people's projected rosters.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. Anything else on the Olympics?
No.
Devin, I think we should just quickly talk about your Maple Leafs, who fired their assistant coach today, Mark Savard.
Good.
Austin Matthews is the new villain in Toronto after your fandom there vilified Mitch Marner out of town. Any quick comments on the Leafs?
Okay. I don't know about quick. I'll do my best. So yeah, I mean, at Savard, I'm surprised he got a job after his what he did with Calgary's power play. Atrocious across the board. I don't know. It's just about, I guess it's about who you know, I guess, for Mark Savard. So I'm not surprised with that firing. People. Leafs fans are talking about Mitch Marner and how much of a catalyst he was. He was a fantastic player for Toronto, but there isn't that much of a there shouldn't be this much of a downfall from losing one player with all the talent that they do have on the Maple Leafs. Now, the goaltending last year, that was the reason why they did so well, is because you had Stolarz with the best save percentage. I think it was he was over 0.93 save percentage last year, even a 9.4. And they're just not getting the goaltending, at least at the beginning of the year. And now Hildeby, since Wool and Stolarz were injured, Wool's back now, did a good job. And now it's just you have Willie, who's been goalless, I believe, within a calendar month. And you have Matthews, who is a shell of himself of what he was 2-3 years ago. And man, it's hard to really put the finger on exactly what the fuck's happening, but it does have to do with the lack of offense, because they are getting decent or good enough goaltending. And
was that chemistry more than we thought it was?
Yeah, the chemistry has a lot to do with it for sure. So
because like everyone was talking about, like, there's a Marner-sized hole in that lineup that they didn't address in the offseason. But the fact that both Willie and Matthews are struggling this much, like, as someone who doesn't really care good or bad about Toronto, it's been shocking to see how much they've struggled this year.
Well, you think that because Willie was on the flank with Tavares, and you think that they would still have that chemistry, but man, there's something just rotten in that locker room, I think, and I don't know what it is. Obviously, if you're not in the locker room, you have no idea what the hell it is, but it just seems like they're not playing for each other, that they've lost their swagger and their confidence. So
is this time for a torch line of this core is stale?
I think so.
Yeah,
I do.
Yep.
There does come a point in time where the trajectory starts going the other way. Like, and it, how long's Austin Matthews been there now?
Oh God,
like
10 years,
like a decade,
pushing a decade.
Yeah,
coming on to a decade.
It's So at some point, it starts going in the other direction. They might have to make some pretty big changes in the off season there.
Well, I think what you do is you trade Matthews for McDavid and go from there.
I'm sure Edmonton is going to. Stambo will pick up the phone and do that for sure.
Oh, yeah. And then Matthews would re-sign instantly, I'm sure.
Yeah, he'll do the 8 years that McDavid wouldn't do for sure.
Yeah.
I don't think that people are not talking. The two stories that people are not talking enough about in Toronto is how much they miss Chris Tanev on that blue line, and I imagine in that locker room, I think is massive. And I think to me this I've said this a few times, that Leafs team reminds me of that Flames 22-23 team after Matthew Tkachuk and Johnny Gaudreau left. They just look so disjointed. They look like this is a team that probably like, okay, we have to play together and kind of figure this out, as opposed to maybe they should have taken a step back after Marner left. I think that's it's just the similarities between those two teams to me are just, they are so striking to me. Lots of talent, but no chemistry is what I'm seeing. But nobody's talking enough about how much they're missing Chris Tanev at the blue line.
Yep, that's completely fair, and it's very similar to the management team. There is probably feeling very similar to Edmonton. And okay, if we don't do anything within the next 2 years with Austin Matthews, he's walking. Yeah. He's not going to re-sign. And with seeing how well Mitch Marner's doing down in the States, can you blame him?
Yeah, no, exactly.
And that's a Canadian doing well in the States. Never mind an American who wouldn't mind going to an American market.
Totally.
All right. Anything else we need to talk about?
Oh, I think an hour and 15 minutes has been lots.
I do want to.
I have one thing.
Sorry.
Okay, go for it. No, you go for it. You're good.
Two quick things. Just on a news front, keep an eye on the ECHL They may, if you listen to 32 Thoughts, Elliot Friedman did talk about the ECHL possibly going on strike. And they did release something this afternoon on Twitter in regards to that. So that is something just to keep an eye on. And I just want to say Merry Christmas and thank you guys for putting up with me again for another year. Well, seriously, it's kind of sappy, but it was great that we all got together, including Devin. And Devin, I think we'll speak for everyone. We fucking miss you on this and your little shots at Tyler's hair and all of you.
There was one drive-by smear during the show here that I just came out of nowhere, and I'm still trying to pick myself up metaphorically.
Well, I was going to say that that hairline is receding a little bit.
Oh,
there,
stop,
Tyler!
No, you can't be serious. Is it
one of us?
Yeah. Yeah, this is what 41 will do for you.
Whoa!
It starts.
He's in the you're in the Aaron Rodgers, Phillip Rivers cycle there, Tyler.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. To echo what you said though, Kevin, it is awesome to have all five of us together here for this occasion. And Chris, it was great to see you on the weekend, and maybe I'll be seeing you more often if your employer has more work up here for you. But
I mean, our PG office is fairly overworked, so it's not out of the realm of possibility, but I can't make any promises on when.
I might be swinging through your neck of the woods in early March, so maybe we'll try to do something then. Maybe schedule a podcast so the two of us are side by side.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Yeah,
that'd be very cool.
Yeah.
Also,
maybe you could convince
this comb over debate here, like. I feel like I don't get the respect I deserve.
Yours wear a hat.
Yeah, you do wear a hat more often than not, Chris. That's why.
That is true. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. And if you are down in Chris's area, maybe just hop on. You two can hop on a plane and come out to Calgary for my 40th. So.
Oh, there we go. Yes. Had you
March?
Yes. There you go.
We can workshop that one offline, I think.
Yeah.
How do we follow everyone?
I just want to say all the best to all of you guys and your families and loved ones and everything. Yeah. And I hope you get some nice R&R here before getting back to reality.
Yeah.
Yep.
How do we follow everyone?
I am BeardyConnect03 on X, Twitter, whatever you want to call it these days.
I'm on X.com at Tnoble, TNOBLE.
I am at Schneids on most social media.
You can follow me on X at Gordhouse09. I'm on there never.
So maybe you should tell us about your Instagram there, Dev.
Oh, I'm never on there either.
He's a recluse that does a podcast.
That's right.
Kevin Holmes-Smith, everybody.
Yeah. And I am KVOLE on all social media. And of course, for us, Facebook.com Shifts and Pucks, YouTube.com Shifts and Pucks, Twitch.com Shifts and Pucks. Subscribe wherever you get your audio, and the Hockey Podcast Network. Thanks everyone for watching and listening. Merry Christmas. Happy 2026. We will talk to you all very soon. Bye for now.